Okay guys, so this is Wednesday's extra practice, multiplying fractions visually. And so this is a little bit longer because I'm gonna show you how to do all three different ways: multiplying a fraction times a whole number, multiplying a whole number times a fraction, and multiplying a fraction times a fraction visually. So I went ahead and got started on this one. So I'm just gonna walk you through what I did. So when you multiply fractions times whole number visually, the example is 4/8 times 4. It actually means 4/8 taken 4 times, so it's actually repeated addition. So 4/8 plus 4/8 plus 4/8 plus 4/8 equals 16/8, which equals 2 wholes. So you're going to use two different colors to do this work. And to show it visually, you can go ahead and draw out 4 whole circles. And because it's 4/8 we're starting with, we're going to break up each circle into 8 pieces. So I did that. And then I'm going to color in 4/8 4 times. So I'm going to use two different colors just to show the difference between the multiple 4/8. So I color in 4/8 one time, color in 4/8 another time, color in 4/8 a third time, and color in 4/8 a fourth time. So this shows 4/8 plus 4/8 plus 4/8 plus 4/8. So if I add 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, I get 16 over how many pieces each whole is broken up into, which is 8. 16/8 is an improper fraction, and that equals 2. To do that mathematically, you were to multiply the numerator times the whole number. 4 times 4 equals 16. Put that over the denominator, which is 8. Convert that into a whole number. 16/8 is equal to 2 wholes. So the first one, I went ahead and did 2, just to show you how it can also turn into a mixed number. So this is 3/4 times 6. So I'm going to go ahead, I went ahead and drew out 6 circles and broke each circle into fourths because that's my denominator, okay? Then I colored in 3/4. Here's my first 3/4. Here's my second 3/4. So you notice I colored in this last fourth of this first circle because I had one piece left over and I switched colors. So here's my second 3/4. Then I started coloring with the yellow, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. Then I colored in the remaining of this circle of 3/4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I color in another one, that's 5 3/4. And then here's my 6th 3/4. So if you were just to add these up, here's 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes. Here's my 4 holes in my mixed number, and then I have 2/4, which is also equivalent to 4 1/2. So to do this mathematically, you would multiply the numerator of the fraction, 3 times 6, which equals 18, and put it over the denominator of the fraction. So 18/4 is your total, and then you would convert that into a mixed number. So 18 divided by 4 equals 4 2/4, which is also equivalent to 4 1/4. Okay, and then the next one is to multiply a whole number times a fraction. So this is actually taking a whole number a fraction of the time. So the example we're going to use is 4 times 1/5. So it's 4 taken 1/5 of the time. So you're actually starting with a whole number. So for this visual, I am going to draw out 4 whole rectangles, and I colored those in yellow. The whole thing, colored in the whole thing yellow. Then I broke it up into fifths because that's what my denominator is. And then I colored in 1/5 of each whole. Okay, so then how many 1/5s do you have? 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. So your answer is 4/5. To do that mathematically, whole number times the numerator, 4 times 1 is 4, over the denominator. So the first one is 2 times 1/4. So I drew out my 2 rectangles. I colored them all in, the whole rectangle in with my lighter color, yellow. Then I broke it up into fourths and colored in 1/4 of each whole. So you're taking 2 wholes 1/4 of the time. So if I take one whole 1/4 of the time, that's 1/4. If I take two wholes 1/4 of the time, that's 2/4, which is also equivalent to 1/2. Okay, so then the last one is a fraction times a fraction visually. And so this means you're going to take a fraction of a fraction. So the example we're going to start with is 1/3 taken 1/2 of the time, and you need a third color for this. So you need two lighter colors and then a darker color. So to do this, you're going to draw a square, and you're going to take, and I'm going to start with 1/3. So I'm going to break it up going this way into thirds, and I'm going to take my lightest color and I'm going to color in 1/3. So that's my 1/3. That's step one. Step two is to then take it and break it up into the second fraction going the other way. So now I'm going to break it up into halves. I'm going to color in 1/2, overlapping my yellow. So that's 1/2, okay? So 1/3 taken 1/2 of the time, you're going to show where the two overlap with your darkest color, and that will be your answer. So this is one piece out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is my new denominator. So to do that mathematically, 1/3 times 1/2, you just multiply straight across. So 1 times 1 equals 1, and 3 times 2 equals 6. So it's actually a lot easier than adding fractions. So let's go ahead and quickly do this first example here, or first practice problem here. So I'm going to start with 1/2. So I'm going to break it apart going this way first and color in 1/2 with my lightest color. Then I'm going to break it up into fourths going vertically. And I'm going to color in with my second lightest color 1/4. Okay. Then I'm going to use my darkest color and color in where they overlap, which is right there in that corner. Okay. So I have one purple section out of how many are now the whole? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to do that mathematically, it's 1 times 1 equals 1, and 2 times 4 equals 8. Okay, so all three of these pages you can find on Google Classroom. You can print them out and do the work right here on this page, or you can do the work, just look at them off of Google Classroom, do them on a piece of paper, and then click on the answers in tomorrow's assignment to check your work. So hold on to it so you can check to make sure you have it correct.